recording has been started.
Alrighty. So we pick up immediately after the scene of Smoke, Elias, unbeknownst to you of that name, being whisked away by own volition after the thrown piece of dynamite in their direction, only not setting off in the rest of the room because the smoke took it with it. And we pick up on that same office, not too far above, not too far close to the bottom of the skyscraper with two people talking. That same woman in a kind of nice pencil suit of stripes, black and white, with a hint of gray in the tie. Hair tied back into a neat bun, braided bun this time. And she's talking to someone in the shadows who is glinting with primarily whites and oranges. And she goes, "You know, this could have been easily your kill. You were just taking your time, letting them grow stronger. You really ought to think before you act next." To which the voice speaks up, not stepping forward so much as leaning off of the wall. "Yep, that's still my kill. That's what I agreed on when I started working for you, my lady," with a grin full of teeth. "Watch your tone, Azarath, or else I'll actually exert power over you." And she goes to say something else, as if in warning, with the iciness in her voice, in her eyes, and in her posture. And then the smoke qu- quickly fills the room, and there is a cut-off shout of, "My lady, back away!" And she just reaches out with one hand, not even looking, and seems to grab hold of the air itself as if something were hovering there. And the sound of a clock tick stopped. And she turns it almost with an odd struggle back, counterclockwise against some unseen force, as the explosion that would have gone off in this small space, hurting everyone in the room, including herself, winds back, but leaves the smoke and its personnel within it untouched as she continues turning back. 10 seconds, 20, 35, 45. And she stops. She doesn't go too far back, not pushing the extent of her power, as there's a gasp of relief from an otherwise unfettered face. And what would have been a lingering scar is an outline that looks drawn more than it is a scar. But it still remains as Elias. "Thank you, my lady. I appreciate it." "No need." As she keeps her hand in the air and begins to walk around. "You've brought me something of interest." "Oh, my dear fox, what have you brought me?" As she snaps, and the dynamite falls to the ground, untouched, unlit. And she leans down to pick it up. "Oh, I see. This will be fun." And we switch scenes. As we cut from this scene to A couple of days later, there was a bit of a hitch in the arrival of this passenger line to Dollhouse, a sort of welcomed stop off point on another intermediary world. None of you really caught the name. You never really left your chambers, aside from the moment the captains kept checking on you and insisted you try to leave. But the four of you that went to Dollhouse, Razz, Lance, Arthur, and Aster, you are ushered as key wielders to the lobby of the Grand Castle of Queen Barbie. And the garden is empty and it is almost eerie, but you're led inside by a normal looking person. The only thing that was odd about them is perhaps the fact that one of their jewelry pieces, a ring on their left hand, on their right, on their left pinky finger, is dotted with a couple of gemstones, almost too shiny to be gems. But they don't let you look for long as they open the door, let you inside, with Aster falling behind and proceeding to step away. And you hear chatter. Even the front lobby is empty, seemingly set for some wonderful event, but only partially done, as if caught in the throes of something else. And you hear talking at the staircase off to the right hand side. And what do you guys do first?
Perceive.
Yeah?
I perceive at who. I look to the right.
Okay. What do the rest of
Which
you do?
right?
You're right, facing towards the bottom of the map.
Okay.
You are walking in through the door. I believe I gave you all permission to walk around.
Yep.
Okay. Razz is going to like kind of marvel for the time being while Zahn is getting stuff handled on their side and just walk around and examine just how fancy things are, including staring out at an empty garden. But do all of you try to look towards the source of the noise?
Yeah. Or at least Lance does.
I know Arthur and Lance are.
Aster is a bit distracted, so he'll
Mm-hmm.
he'll probably look at it look towards that direction in a little bit, but just not at this very moment.
Okay. So, Lance and Arthur, as you're stepping in, your footsteps echo a little bit. In this hollow chamber being set up for some sort of event, it is eerie for a split second how massive this place is and how small you feel, both of you feel, in this space that almost feels small for the world, but big for you. It's claustrophobic, but massive. And you look towards the source of the chattering that sort of bounces around the room to a point that you can't make out any real words, and you see a good number of people. One of them notably has their back turned to you, but has deep, dark, almost black brown hair and a doctor's coat that seems tattered at the edges, well worn and well loved. and is knelt down in front of a familiar face, but isn't taking any note of you so far. And has long hair, long kind of lavender purple hair, tied back into a high ponytail, with no shirt on, because apparently, as you recall of this figure, shirts get in the way when you have injuries. And sure enough, you can see the dotted and speckled with blood, or something akin to blood. It is certainly red on the torso, right where a heart should lie. And just past that person next to them, sitting a couple of stairs up, staring off towards another doorway to their left, is another familiar face. Short, dark purple hair, uh, blackish purple eyes, not really paying any mind, but wearing a kind of similar attire, but a tank top instead of no shirt. And she also is seen better days, as she's not paying attention to who's walking in, seemingly either at ease or very distracted. Beside that group is to the left of them, if you're facing their direction. Uh, over here, by the way, is an average height man, blonde, pale skin, kind of half turned towards you, wearing kind of partial leather armor and partial plate mail, almost roughshod compared to the things you have seen out in the rest of the world system. You've kind of noticed this person around Arthur, but in that sense of they might be a Crown's Guard or a Royal Guards, someone of high rank. You don't really recall the name, but you know that you've seen them before. And to the right is a relatively tall woman wearing a sort of half suit, half dress. And it looks like she was getting prepared for something, as she looks literally looking at her from afar. You can't tell if she stopped her makeup halfway and dropped it and ran, or if she, in her like preparations, just forgot to do the rest of her makeup. And she's blonde, curly hair slightly, tan skin, perfectly manicured nails, and she's delightedly talking to the group, though you can't hear what she's saying.
So did we recognize those two at the bottom down there?
The twins?
Yeah.
You did.
Okay. I guess Arthur will probably hurry over.
Oh, so nervous. Like just skittering over.
As you make it to that point, the figure on the left, facing, well, right as you're approaching, looks over to you, and you now recognize this figure, Arthur. This is Ken, a dream guard of the Dollhouse world system. And it is a world system. This is one of many worlds under Barbie's command. And you put it two and two together that the woman dressed so fancily that it almost is blinding in how pink it is, that this is Barbie, and this is her home. But Ken does not stop you from approaching. If anything, he just seems to take note that you're approaching.
Arthur will continue.
Like just half-hearted wave towards Ken. Not that he knows who that is, but
We will stop.
Make a perception check, both of you.
Okay.
As you
Okay.
get to that point.
from.
Important update. My cat is snoring.
Nice.
Hey!
Arthur, you're too frazzled, too focused on making sure that at least Yeva is alright, if not both Yeva and Killian, to hear any of what's actually being said. Lance, as you approach a little slower, taking in the surroundings, you do hear a couple of sentences before the conversation seems to abruptly end as both of you approach and they notice you. The few sentences that you hear are from the one with the doctor's coat, seemingly speaking to the twins as both of them look distant but responsive. Alright, here's the deal. You're on bed rest. You need actual rest. I'm talking to both of you. Look at me. And Yeva kind of stiffens and looks towards him. Or them. It's hard to tell gender, really. Alright, bed rest. No work. If you can, I'll play. I know both of you are... And they stop, noticing you. As they stand up to their full height. They're not too tall, but at the way that they were knelt down, it was hard to tell how tall they were. And they turn to face both of you as the entire group follows suit. Now, not just Ken. And you see kind of oddly tan skin, kind of as if sunburn after sunburn attempt at tanning kind of skin tone. That same brownish black hair, you realize it reaches past the shoulders and kind of closer to the clavicle. And streaks of white in the hair, almost as if bleached in a manner. Well, you would be?
I'm Arthur.
Man's
you?
Bedveer.
I didn't need all that. But alright.
We're just here to look for our friends and points at the twins.
Ah, yes. The Amaray twin. Or I suppose they don't use that anymore. Do you want to talk to them both? Just turning to face the twins again. And Yeva seems to finally notice you're there, Arthur. And she jumps to her feet and rushes past this group and up to you. And just brings you into the warmest yet most frightened hug she's ever given you, or just that you've ever received either way. And she's just muttering off and on, just, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. This isn't, I'm sorry.
Arthur will return the hug.
You don't know what she's talking about. She's the one who got hurt.
I don't think it's the right time to ask about that.
Lance, what do you do? Because Killian seems unfocused. He hasn't noticed you yet.
Get her around a bit closer. Excuse me.
Ken stares at you for a moment with a raised eyebrow, but does step back.
Cling wrap.
Careful. Just a tiny warning from the seemingly doctor. You still haven't asked a name from. Just this random doctor in this grand hall. But the doctor does step away, kind of over to Ken, and starts to whisper something. What do either of you do, other than cling wrap and return a hug? Because one of them's unresponsive and the other one's muttering quickly.
Are they like loose? Is Yeva loosening up at all? Or are they like staying?
Their grip is pretty tight.
Okay.
They seem panicked, or at the very least, scared not for herself, but for you. As if she's trying to, like, make an insight check.
Yeah, my insight's not that good. Oh, okay.
She, like I said, she does seem more scared for you than she is for herself. She seems lucid is the problem. She seems more clear and clear-headed than she ever did before at the academy. And you, for some reason, there's an odd sensation in your chest of, where have I seen this before? But you can make no connection. It feels similar to something you've never encountered. An almost deja vu.
I have a feeling if I try hard, it'll hurt brain again, so I won't.
You can do what you want.
No. He'll probably lead her over to this chair. I think it is, or bench.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bench area.
Yeah. Try to like lead her there and sit her down.
Mm-hmm. And as she sits down, you realize that she's pretty much at the bare essentials of clothes right now, as if kind of similar to being on house arrest in an ER, where it's you've been sanctioned here by some being above you, and they need easy access to take your vitals, that kind of thing. And you notice that the bandages are covering over where she was stabbed, clean through. And you notice that they're a little higher than where she was stabbed, as far as you remembered in the terribly gruesome video. Or at least you think it was? But it's covering over her chest in the sense that if she was stabbed clean through that spot, her heart would have shattered. Should have shattered instantly.
Okay. He'll say, I had something.
Take your time.
Okay, I need you to take a deep breath and slow down so I can understand.
She pauses in her fits of almost odd rambling. You can't call them insane because, again, she seems clear-headed. But she takes a breath, holds it for a second, seeming to have been practicing some sort of mindfulness technique while not being around you, and lets it go. Sorry. Are you okay?
Me, I'm fine. Are you?
Yeah, better than ever, actually. Do you. And she goes to say something, and it's odd. She goes to say something, and you know she's speaking. Words are forming on her lips. You are reading her lips and looking at her face. She is talking. And there's no spell up, but there's nothing. You can't even make out what she's saying, even if they are clearly, honestly enunciated pretty clearly. It's just silence. And after a second, it picks back up again. You know?
So
They seem pretty scary.
out of character, would that be like the photo scene from Kingdom Hearts 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just thank you. Say that again? I don't think I heard you correctly.
Oh, sorry, I must have been rambling again. Do you? You know?
I don't think you're rambling. I just don't know. Can't. It just kind of stops, like sound.
Her brows furrow, confused and now worried again. And you hear that doctor's voice again. You need to be a little less blunt, otherwise they're not going to understand yet. I'm not good with side talking, okay? Give me a second. You're fine, dear. Just remember, they don't know about or anything relating to that. So you know what I'm talking about. Looking at the doctor from around Ken. So you know, and you're not saying anything? That's not what I said, dear. I said they don't know about or anything relating to that. That means they haven't awakened to it yet. Which unfortunately, that's impossible for them to do the way you did. And she pouts. As Razz seems to hear something of an argument in her eyes and kind of wanders over. Arthur, what do you do? Or Lance, because you hear this too.
Oh, he was gonna ask if there was a roundabout way of saying it.
Does Lance do anything while this is happening?
I'm almost positive something was said. But what are we supposed to awaken to?
All the people in the room aside from you guys seem to think for a moment. Before Ken speaks up. This is gonna sound odd, but your memories.
Period? Okay.
Yeah, just, it was a period, but just your memories, and he pauses for a moment, looking over at Barbie, who shrugs, just in that manner of, what do you want me to say? As she turns and starts to walk over to the last guest who hasn't approached, and we'll get to those ones in a moment. And Ken looks at the three of you and goes, it's not as easy as said and done. Because for you, it's, And he thinks again, as if trying to find exactly what you said, a roundabout way of saying it. You all are special, in a manner of speaking. You don't awaken to your memories the same way everyone else does.
And how does everyone else awaken to their memories?
Die. Just blatantly said by the doctor. Just most people have to die.
Would these memories have to do with the time thing that's going on? Or has been going on?
Ken just looks over at you and goes, "Yep."
Okay.
Well, you at
That,
least know that much,
that
so
clears things up a lot.
yeah. It's messy at best. We don't really remember all of it. We remember what's impacted us the most. But we know. At the very least, we know.
So you mean to tell me that they and Lance just gestures towards Killian and Yeva. They died?
In a manner of speaking, yes. But, the twins are special too. They always have been. Would you like to explain this, Killian? Or shall I? I got it. Just the defeated sigh of someone who's normally very jovial. And seemingly just, after a moment, wraps an arm around you, Lance. And you notice he's not weaker, but more tired. Where his twin sister, is energetic and clear headed and moving and pacing and trying to sit still and failing. He's almost motionless. They've seemed to reverse their roles. Me and my twin, we're not normal. We never have been. Our donor. And he rolls his eyes, as if not even wanting to call this person that. Our donor kind of created us. We can die. We have sentience. We can develop on our own. But we're not somebody's. We don't have a heart. And Yeva kind of fidgets nervously and goes, "We're kind of like puppets with a soul."
All right.
Okay.
Thought I would give you the heads up? And she smiles nervously.
Is that supposed to change how we feel?
There's a quick glance exchange between the two of them. If either of you want to roll insight, you can.
Yeah.
Sure. What's the worst I could roll?
A 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what.
You didn't, so you're fine. Both of you notice this look as apprehension. The sort of look that someone gives when telling a big secret and getting the best response possible and thinking that there's some trick to it. A sort of other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I remember the first day we met, I'm pretty sure, at the club meeting of, what was it? History.
Yeah.
Remember who I met there?
She tilts her head. Sorry, I'm getting used to my old, new memories? Something. My memories. Could you remind me?
The king,
Which one?
the dark one,
Right. She
and how that
seems.
didn't bother me.
Well, I know that, but. And she goes to say something again, and again it's silent. And she stops mid speaking and seems annoyed. Love. Relax. They'll get there eventually. You can't force it. Aster,
Yes.
you've been hovering at the entrance to this grand castle for some time now. And you're not really paying any mind to the conversation. You can barely hear it, after all, as it ticks on. And then you hear footsteps approaching you. Healed footsteps, mind. But they're obviously taking its time, letting you hear their approach.
He kind of just looks up. He looks tired. Kind of is that full delayed reaction of, oh, right, this is an important person. And starts to kind of lean down to give a bow.
No need.
Sorry.
And she raises a hand of not to stop you, but to offer a hand herself, as you see a familiar face, though not to your own memory. You see Queen Barbie, an old friend of Julius, your father.
You knew the old man. Or, no, the old man?
She smiles. I know a lot of old people. Some are in the ground, some are not. Who would you be?
I'm Aster. The hybrid of Caesar,
No.
Harold,
Who are you?
Master, Harold.
Good. Good to meet you, Aster. I'm Barbie.
Good to meet you, Miss Barbie.
Oh, just call me Barbie.
I think my mom would crawl out of the dark realm to whoop my ass if I didn't have some respect.
Your mom?
Ritsuki.
Yes. She never referred to me as Miss, Madam, or anything. We were old friends.
Yeah. Makes sense. She apparently had a lot of those that I wasn't aware of.
She did get around quite a bit, and she gives a kind of sly smile. She's a hard to pin down woman. Still is, actually.
Yeah.
Aster, would you like to take a walk in the garden with me?
Sure. Sure.
Of course. It's getting a bit stuffy in here. And you walk with her out. It's an odd winding staircase. Kind of a mix of old stone and new marble. A sort of moss and leaf and grass covered stone steps leading into marble pillars that are half broken or seem purposefully broken. And she just walks.
He follows, kind of
I'm setting up the map.
looking around where he can, noticing any people, I imagine. Or should I roll insight for that? Or perception, my bad.
You can roll perception, but the answer remains the same.
24.
No people.
Mm.
She's just walking with you, seeming to let you take your time. Do you say anything to her?
Not for a bit. Kind of stuck in his own head for a bit until he snapped out of it by either her or something else.
She stops at the end of this first staircase, turns to face you. Well?
Well,
I know something's on your mind.
um,
I took you away from the rest of your group, so you had a chance to say it. To a mind that does not. Well, I know a lot about you, but I do not know you. I would like to change around.
what are you looking to learn?
What do you want to tell?
I don't know.
She turns, starts to walk again. Make a either perception or investigation.
No, 15.
Register immediately. You're too caught up in your own mind, and while you do occasionally get too close to a pillar, she nudges your sleeve with a gentle tug, and you follow after her like a lost puppy. Or perhaps like a dazed hound. And she doesn't say anything, but she does hum absent-mindedly, twisting her bangles and jewels and rings that she wears. And you look up just in time to see her twist a bangle. Very fancy one, gold with silver inlay, detailing some fantastical event you have no idea of. And you do see an odd gemstone, similar to all the ones that the populace that you saw were wearing as you approached. And something about it is off from a normal gemstone.
Materia. That's
She's
materia
trying
on
to-
your.
Yes?
You're a queen. Why do you need materia?
I was not always a queen, nor was I always a princess, nor was I even royal. I rose to being a queen after I had learned that the previous king and queen of this world, my home, were abusing their power, making themselves stronger and stronger and taking from the people below. I was put into this position not as a queen, but as a figurehead. I am more myself than I am a queen. And I, as Barbie, I need materia to protect my people. Make sure that should they come to me for help on a thing they cannot help, I will be able to.
The guide had materia, too. Are they the royal guide, or...?
She tilts her head curiously.
Materia is a point of honor. It's not easy to come across. Even so, it's rare for there to be so much in one place.
Perhaps. But it's a little easier when you know how to make it yourself, right? She winks and continues walking. Any more
Stops.
questions? Just turns to face you as she asks that question.
Why make so much materia? What's the point?
She thinks for a moment, one hand resting on the back of her fist, just her perfectly manicured nail tapped against the side of her jaw, as if thinking, but you need no roll to know that she is not really thinking at all, just finding the right words. Think of it like this. If a rarity becomes a commodity, a rarity that can be abused, no less, becomes a commodity that everyone owns, how scary can it be?
We were attacked on the ship. Or the ship was attacked and we were lucky, I guess.
She tilts her head, not in the sense of she's confused, but is waiting for you to elaborate.
There were creatures on there. Well, a creature, and kind of starts fidgeting with his fingers, pulling on one of his nails. It's clearly been pulled for a minute now. One of them felt like a creature. It slithered, it moved, we could feel it moving, but the other one... I summon darkness. I can keep darkness wrapped around my body safely. Couldn't feel anything from there. It's the only way I knew it was there, because it was a lack of anything. It was a monster.
No, not a monster. A man.
If that's a man, does it mean it can die?
Yes, or so it's assumed. We've been trying for a very long time now. A very long time.
What do you know about a long time? You know
She
something.
kneels down, kind of being just under your, chin height, looking up at you.
He looks back at her, and his body has sort of done that shifting that it does. His eyes even alter a bit and rest on this deep navy blue color as he stares at her. Zoned in, honestly, on her.
I know a lot. I know enough. But it's far from what I need. I can't interfere in events that must play out. Everything else I can stop or bend or break. I gotta. But there are some things that even the gods cannot.
You're a god.
Yes,
Why do you lower yourself to the title of a queen?
I do not lower myself at all, Aster. I delight in this rank. Because to be a god, Aster, it is the loneliest thing you can become. As a queen, my people surround me. My friends, my family, the people I have known for decades.
Do you tell them the truth of what
Yes.
you are?
They know. They treat me no differently.
He kind of, searches her face. And he's gonna insight if there's anything she's kind of holding back from him.
Go ahead.
29.
You get the sense that if she is hiding anything, it's not because she is malicious or even because she's actively trying. You get the sense that she's answering every question to the best of her ability for you that she, both as a queen and as a goddess.
His form starts to settle. Eyes go back to that violet color. I made a deal. I got into a fight with my best friend and I made a deal. I was angry. I wanted to change things, but he wouldn't tell me why he was stopping me. And when he did, he had already dragged me too far. People were dead. He couldn't see. I had to lead him through a fucking hall of gore. I couldn't fucking react. I wanted to help people because they were threatening more people, and I couldn't do anything. Not because I couldn't move, but he held me back, and he wouldn't tell me why. So I was angry at him. I hit him. I hit my friend, and when somebody offered me power, I took the deal. I was angry. I felt different immediately. I got
Fear
really.
reaches out and does not take your hand, but offers her own.
He seems scared of it. As he finishes his sentence, I got so angry I scared Zippy, my familiar, the one soul I never wanted. Has never been scared. He's always been brave, always never hesitated if I asked him something, and I scared him. He was scared of me.
Her hand does not move.
Aster starts to sort of finally feel that exhaustion start to weigh on him of he hasn't slept since he scared Zippy. Wobbling and like he's about to lose his balance. I can't contact Apollo anymore. I have my original Keyblade that my mom's supposed to have. I took her only form of defense away from her. She's trapped in the dark world and she doesn't have a way to
Aster.
defend herself.
Aster.
I didn't. I just reacted.
Aster.
He looks at her.
She's smiling. You're not alone, and you never have been. All you have to do is reach it.
I can't feel Apollo anymore. And my shadow gets deeper. I feel it. If I step into it now, I think the weight of the ocean will kill me. Can't go back to her. And he kind of lifts the glasses and the tears are falling down. I promised my mom I'd be by her side a call away, and I took the only thing I left to defend her with. And I can't get into the person that can go to her.
Aster. Reach out. Her hand hasn't moved.
He's hesitant still, his hands shaking. Violently shaking as he tries to lift it. It feels heavier than ever, but he does lift it eventually. Only able to get his fingers to hers.
Her touch is warm, gentle, motherly almost, and perhaps that's you don't know enough about Barbie, queen, or goddess to know if she has. But after a moment, there's a warmth that washes over you, and your vision clouds for a split second. And you panic for a split second as it goes dark, darker than dark. And then it clears, and you find yourself kind of hovering, spectral and weightless, over that shoreline. You see 3 figures. You are far enough above that they don't notice you, but you can't hear what they're saying. See your mother, laughing at something or someone, even going so far as to double over a hand over her stomach and point. And she's pointing at a familiarly shaped shadow, though this time it's more defined, distinct. And you see the shoulders uttering as if laughing in turn. And a third figure, one you told to keep an eye on. He seems bored, but there's a smile on his face. They seem okay, at least for now. And make a perception check for me.
Alright. Oh god, that leaned mostly on a 20.
Roll again. On your family. You don't like calling Hydra your family, even if you do call him your brother. But this teen is family. The one you built, chose, fight for. Part of that. But something in the corner of your vision catches you alert for a second. Concerned, worried, panicked? As you move slightly over to see if you can catch any glimpse of it again, but it seems to have appeared. But you could have sworn you saw a familiar Kingsglaive emblem. Just for a second. You hear a soft voice in your head, Barbie's but ethereal. Are you ready to come back?
It takes a moment for him to give a genuine response. Because he's starting to reach out towards them. He wants to drag himself to that beach. And he tries.
Aster, you reach out, trying to drag yourself through this foggy film towards them, towards this possibility. But you reach out and, like, pressing your hand against cold, frosted glass, your hand stops. Not because there's something stopping you, something. You almost feel the worried frown. Aster, are you ready to come back?
He doesn't respond. Instead, something grabs him, the back of his head at least, as a small heartless with a little bow on her head raises her head up above his and brings it down on the back of his head. And like a snap to reality, he goes, "Ow! What? Missy? Yeah, sorry."
And she
Sorry.
turns her head slightly to the side, looking behind you, and going, "Thank you, sweetheart."
He's blinking a bunch. Feels kind of disoriented.
Barbie takes her hand back slowly, and like a mist, that foggy disorientation fades, but the memories do not.
Sorry. I don't know what came over me.
It's okay. You don't need to apologize to me for worrying about family. It's what Ken did for me. We're family. Of course, we're supposed to worry. And she stands up and starts to walk again.
He stops and gives it a moment. Miss Barbie,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
For?
This holds his hand out and summons Garden of the Void and holds it, Nature's Wrath, my bad,
Mhm.
and drops it into a shadow. She'll find it. Hopefully.
Would you like me to give it to her?
Maybe. I don't know.
She steps over to you again. Can you walk?
Just, give me a bit.
Do you want to walk?
If I don't, I'm gonna break again.
That's okay.
Maybe, but this makeup's way too expensive to be running twice in a row.
She smiles. I have far more expensive ones that I've ruined.
Yeah,
Try
but
and tell
yours
Cayde.
aren't. Yours didn't come from Juliet Harold's personal case.
Not this go around, no. Once upon a time, though.
Go around. You need to be careful. Kind of lights himself up and starts to wobbly walk forward. Too much
Puts a hand on your
context.
shoulder.
Too many context clues. They're gonna know you're aware of the time loops.
Because I am.
Yeah,
And they are
I
too.
I figure. Family, right?
No. Coworkers, actually. Aster, may I tell you something?
Sure.
And she starts to walk, slowly so you can keep up. When I was young, and there was such a time, I know.
Genuinely, until this very moment, I thought you didn't age.
Yeah,
Being
I
100%.
wish. And without turning to face you, she continues walking, slow but steady. When I was young, this kingdom was in a bad way. As I said, the powers that be needed to be kicked in the shin, or worse. But what I did instead is I went behind their back. I earned their trust. Granted, I never gave them mine. Because, let's just say I had a couple of friends already on the inside. She walks again. When I was young, I was reckless. I fought for all the right people, all the right things, all the right causes. But I wasn't happy. Not until I started doing what I wanted. And I thought no one would stand beside me. Least of all, Ken. And she gestures behind them towards the grand castle. But turns out I wasn't the only one upset with everything going right. And as it turned out, things going right were actually what was going wrong. So I took it into my own hands, started a revolution, a rebellion, a riot. I got things done, and I got it messily. There's blood on my hands that will never dry. People that I've lost. People who can't come back. No matter how hard I try. No matter what I may be able to do. There was even one time where I think I got pretty close to death. Someone said I wasn't ready yet. And she smiles.
Aster kind of looks at the staircase in front of them, Barbie on the side that's put together, used more often, and Aster just stares at the one in front of him. Not missing, just needs repairs. Can I tell you a story, ma'am?
Sure. Whichever one you'd like.
Zipper, my familiar, and he's gonna start trying to slowly climb up these rocks. I decided my familiar would be based off whichever heartless reached me first. Zipper was the first. I created a massive pool, portal, whatever you want to call it, and I held my hand out. I had the herald insignia on it. A familiar of mine is a familiar of the heralds. And there were two imps that were clawing through everyone else, rushing through. One was powering through, pushing, knocking back, and reaching out. Another one was slipping by, zipping back and forth. They both left the portal at the same time. And Zipper grabbed my hand first. Zippy fuck. Every time I tried to figure out a name for him, he just ended up as Zippy. Name him for how he moved, he zipped side to side. Name him for what he wore, big jacket with a big zipper. He became Zippy. That second place, at runner-up, missed by a hair, didn't become my familiar. And as he's climbing up, a small shadow will kind of crawl down his arm, plant herself about right here, and kind of grab at him, help him up. Missy. That was Missy. Strong little. She's stronger than most imps. Can't explain it. She just is.
Barbie raises a hand where you can't see and just waves at Missy in that manner of hello again.
Head wobble. as he continues. She's not as strong as the twins. Those two are knuckleheads through and through. They're itty and bitty. But she was strong in different ways. But she was weak when I met her. Because she retreated. She went back into the darkness. But I reached after her. I brought her back out. I named her first. I gave her one of my mom's old bows. It's a pin-on, but it's one of her old bows. Zippy is like me, but Missy is different. Zippy will never change because he's my familiar. He's somewhat unkillable now, I guess you could say. But Missy, Itty, and Bitty, they can die. But they're not scared. They're not scared of death. They just want to help.
Aster.
Yeah.
Do you take the last step up onto the platform?
He does. While holding Missy and kind of holding his chest at the same time. They're parts of me.
You hear the smile more than you see. Look around you.
He does.
A slight breeze kind of rushes past you almost in play. A sort of levity to the area as you realize you're quite high up. There's the sound of swirling, arcanely rushing water behind you as you turn to face Barbie. You look out over the garden and you realize why there was a party being planned. You can see the streamers and the flowers that are fake, the flowers that are real, and the decorations that dot and line every single one of the heads. But she stopped, dead in her tracks, just to attend to a group of kids. And it occurs to you in that moment how frighteningly small you are. Not weak, strong as hell. Stronger than most. So small. So young. And Barbie steps up to your level and looks at you. What do you see?
Purpose. Dedication. Happy people.
She steps past you, her footsteps clicking still against bits and pieces of gravel and stone and marble left littered across.
He doesn't turn away from the sight And he just marvels at it. You protect all of it.
In a manner of speaking.
They trust you?
With their whole hearts.
I made a bad deal, didn't I?
What do you think? Genuinely.
I don't know. I
Does
just
it
know
feel bad?
I wanted power. I wanted power, not for the reason I should have wanted it. I have not genuinely gave a reason for why I wanted the power, and now that I've got someone's version of power, it feels wrong. This isn't the power I wanted. I want to protect. The power to protect. Stand in the front so no one has to worry about being hurt in the back.
As you're talking, you get the sudden feeling that you're not alone in this conversation with her anymore. And it's that split second of, wait, as you're sort of pushed forward, both you and Missy both, by a sort of snout at your back.
Yeah. I didn't know there were animals here. And he turns around.
You see a massive pink, white, and gold themed unicorn. And it steps back over to Barbie again, seemingly having just left her side to get your attention. And it is way bigger. But it kneels down to her height and settles down in a proper position to either be ridden or just pet. She just casually strokes through the mane, casually pets the snout, and she smiles at you. As you see the bright light in her bangle that you notice is dim.
Someone?
A friend. Do you know the legend of the unicorn?
No.
If there is any ill intent for a unicorn, they lash out. They gore and stamp and trampede and stamp like wild, absolutely wild. But if there's only good intent, good hearts, they're playful. A bit mean. And she taps the forehead of the unicorn, which sniffles and looks offended, but settles back into place. But they mean no harm. My friend here only sees good in you. Aster, make
Yes.
a perception check. That weight in the center of your chest that has been there for days now. It's no longer there. The only weight that's there is your own Something seems to be keeping that odd weight away from you.
He kind of holds to his chest again. Miss Barbie,
Yes?
would it be alright if I try to do something?
You're safe here. Do as you please.
It has been a long rest. Yes, since we last, yeah?
Yes.
Alright, cool. Aster's gonna grab at his chest and take a step forward. And he's gonna kind of try to create a pool of darkness like he explained in the story right about here. I don't need your tainted power. Contracts off. The only power I need is my own. And he's going to try and call a beast to him.
What beast do you try and summon?
He doesn't know the name of it at first. He thinks of it. He thinks of all the Dream Eaters from the barn, the Aura Lions, the Gigafants, all these different types of Dream Eaters and Heartless flow through his brain and mind, but quiets the thoughts, focusing on his mom and dad. Sleipnir. Please. Aid me.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, damn.
Something turns its gaze to you, not maliciously, but almost taunting. Like an old friend that is purposefully giving you the cold shoulder.
Doesn't lower his hand. And he'll burn half his mana and try again. Please. I'm not... I need to do this by myself, but I cannot rely on others. No one's power, but my own should be the one that guides my way. You served her, and you still do. I only ask your name and your aid. The same you have given her.
Make an Arcana check with this.
Disadvantage?
No.
Nope.
Add a +5 bonus.
Alright, so roll this and then add a 4 to it.
No, +5.
Then 21.
It takes even a moment as you say such words, almost as if something is taking off the dust and just taking its time. But after a moment, almost with an ease that shouldn't for the name you called, if an odd, spectral but not force rises from that egregious pool. Half skeletal, half spectral, with some armor-like barding. And you know this look because it's the same look that the Dream Eaters give you when you have clearly done something idiotic but not. And it just stares at you, and the level of sentience in its eyes is. It doesn't need to speak for you to understand the words. It's about damn time.
Hey, come on now. If I was smart, she'd be out already. And he's gonna hesitantly put a hand in between its eyes and its forehead and just see if it's alright to pet.
You hold out your hand hesitantly, and Sleipnir, this terrifying being even the gods are afraid of, steps forward and nudges you, almost as if to say, "What are you doing?"
I am currently regaining my strength. That took a lot out of me. And if I'm gonna do this right, I gotta set the contract right.
You see Sleipnir looks over at Barbie.
It looks at Barbie. I think you cut out for that, bud.
No, I said it looks over at Barbie.
Oh. What's it do?
Do you follow the glance?
He does.
She's sitting on the ground, gently tending to the mane of Unicorn, this summon, this old friend of hers. And she looks like a princess. Not like a queen or like a common folk with a dress. She looks like a Disney princess. And she looks up and looks over at Sleipnir for a moment, smiles back at you. Well? Make a investigation check for me.
Aye. 11. He's very tired.
Yeah. It takes you a good few minutes to see what pretty much everyone else in this area already understands is a thing. Barbie's bright neon pink eyes are ambrosial, gold, almost ichor-like. She's not looking at you as a queen whereas Barbie, she's waiting for your answer as a goddess answering a prayer.
He's kind of takes his deep breaths, does kind of lean over on Sleipnir a bit, keep his balance standing. I know what I gotta do. The power I need. I know I gotta earn it.
She tilts her head.
Dear goddess, are you good with a pen?
She seems to crack a smile finally. A real one, not just her placating one. Certainly.
And Aster is going to lead Sleipnir over to Barbie, kneel down, and take off his jacket. I would like to put the summoning insignia for Sleipnir onto my arm. The materia can be grabbed, and I have never wielded one before. This is not a contract for materia.
She sighs. That sort of heavy sigh of, I'm dealing with a haughty child. Kind of the motherly sound of, dear God, you're exhausting.
He gives a genuine laugh, like to the point where it's that laugh of you don't know if he's crying or laughing or both. You should have seen Caesar. That kid jumped off Barnes.
I know. First, I have a question for you. Well, two, I suppose. She quirks a brow as if waiting for your response.
I have an answer for both.
I sure hope so. They relate to you. And she grins. One, would you like your friends here?
I would.
She nods. And I will well, does this include the boy? Boy,
Alexios?
right? She seems to like question herself on that statement of boy.
Yeah, that's Alexios. Is a boy. I know. Congratulations.
Does this include the boy?
I'll text them. Kind of be rude just to drop them in unannounced. Probably looking to actually get the next one around here.
Alright. And second,
Yes, ma'am.
your mother would be very proud of you. You know that?
I do. I just need to learn to remember it.
Right. Very well then. That's all I had to ask. And she reaches behind her, and you know from having been behind her that there's no pockets on the back of her like outfit, and there's no lining either, so it's not like a joke you can make. She just reaches behind her, and you see her hand turn slightly, and she takes out a odd-looking device. It looks half mechanical and half magical, sort of thing that for the players would look like a tech rebel rifle, sort of kind of colorful scepter one. It
Except
looks, yeah.
Aster has that full Vine thing of, oh, what the, how'd you do that, you fucking wizard? Completely forgetting she's a goddess for a second.
And she reaches out, at first going to immediately write something, and then goes, oh, this would be easier if I had actual open arms.
Like, and he physically opens his arms. Like that?
No, I just need one of them.
Oh, and he offers his right arm.
You take 20 points of damage as she is doing. Because
That's
it is
I almost have 200. I take it like a champ.
because even as you kind of wince through it, it does burn. This is not just any inscription or magical inscription. This is the divine right of a deity giving you permission to call from anywhere in the galaxy. Your mount, your friend. And it burns again as she finishes the symbology of Sleipnir, the original Sleipnir, into your arm, your right arm. And she puts away the scepter, which looked for a time being almost like a tattoo arm. And just smiles at you. For the time being, don't unsummon Sleipnir. Keep him around. Just a few days while you're here.
How much? Real quick, and important question. How much MP is Summon Sleipnir?
We'll figure it out.
Alright.
Because I didn't know you were doing this shit, you whore.
Fair
At least
enough.
not this fucking soon. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
You posed good fucking queries and did beautiful scenery. Why are you surprised you made him think? But no, he'll just look at it and go, thumbs up, tear down the face. I'm good. You good? Turns to Sleipnir.
Is just doing the horse loaf on the ground.
Miss Keisha. Oh, she fucking did. Oh, hold on. I think he has to respond to a message real quick. He pulls out his gummy phone.
For context, for that response from Lex, it's basically, I'm sure you understand this as the person who writes him. He's being bodily carried by somebody. Just hold. I will end you. Hold on.
They will peel the stains off the wall of you if you do not. How dare you, Ren?
Mhm.
How dare you give such a fucking compelling offer and like character moment that just threw away a character arc idea that I had that you and I talked about for a moment. How dare you?
Goodbye. Get fucked.
You Matt Mercered my character arc. What the fuck?
No, I Caduceus shipped your arc.
You did. At least I got a horse out of it.
You did.
Also, for those curious, earlier, those were real tears and real crying that I was doing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I did it to myself. I put myself in headspace of like, what is the worst thing that could happen and that would make him be zoned out for this? He scared his little buddy. Oh no. But yeah, no. It was the same kind of like making myself cry that I did for other scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It felt good to cry, I'll be honest with you.
But does this mean we finally get to join in?
Yes. I will
Yay.
be switching scenes in a moment here. For context for the recording, there is a one-sided fight happening with Lex. He's fighting his dad, it's okay.
Are you winning, son?
No.
No. For the scene change, then I will offer this.
Mm-hmm.
Ass is gonna look at Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Can you show me how to ride a horse?
Just a sigh. As they turn skin.
You'd think a farm boy would know, but we don't have many.
As, with a snap of her fingers, the three of you, Lex, Helia, Tsubasa, the three of you, it's a gentle moving. It's like someone, instead of teleported you, picked you up under the arms, shifted the ground beneath you, and suddenly they set you down again.
Hold on, let
As
me
you
just
can
pick
place-
you up and spin this, and you're good now.
Yeah. And you can place yourselves and your tokens in the middle of the room.
Boom. Oh.
Simon must not be enjoying that much right now. They're just like, hello, I was winning.
My boy gone. That felt like power. Hold on, where'd he go? Vivian!
You have stolen my son.
You are stealing my son.
Just distantly. Vivian! God stole our kid again!
Just again.
Spoiler. Or maybe this is a moment, I don't know. It blurs.
Tala? Just, that's where we got that one. But, Lex is just going to lay on the ground and stare at the ceiling. And he looks like he has a migraine.
Oof. Tsubasa just standing and blinking in the middle of the room, just... Huh. I don't remember teleports feeling like that.
The room is kind of untouched from where it was before, with the, like, passing of time. It seems to have calmed down a little bit. Yeva is not panicked anymore, but is still bandaged up. The doctor looks to be dusting himself off, standing up again. And Killian looks his normal self again, just vaguely irritated at the grossness of the situation, even though he's not much better. And Razz is talking to Ken, excitedly, very much so. Because fashion tips, you know?
Yeah. Question is, does anyone...
You're free to...
Oh, sorry.
You're free to interact. I have to go use the restroom.
Well, does anyone look over at them?
Oh, shit, that was quick.
I will say, one thing everyone, Arthur, Lance, and Aster, and technically Razz as well, will notice is that Tsubasa's hair is considerably shorter now. Token needs to be updated, but he no longer has the little tuft of ponytail.
Cool.
Well, I'm sorry, you got cut off, Yuffie? What?
Said cool.
Oh, cool.
Like
With the
a cheese.
But,
What was
yeah.
that?
What?
I'll let you cut. I like your cut, G. Smack.
Does Arthur actually say that?
No, because I'm far away. I would have to hit you in the back of the head.
Fair. Aster is probably the only one who's looking directly at Tsubasa now that I'm realizing I put them in the same line.
Currently, all three of you could probably see Aster and his new demon horse.
No. Because you guys are not back yet. It takes a while to learn how to ride a horse, you dumb motherfucker.
That you were gone!
Does it...
I'm aware of the tokens not being gone. Shut up.
In which case...
Not the tokens, I thought you were gone! You just come out of nowhere with the, you dumb motherfucker!
You need a equestrian train.
But... So that does leave just Lance and Arthur to interact with us.
Lance probably just peeks over, immediately turns his attention back away from that in the other direction, trying his best to not be seen, not be perceived.
Tsubasa does notice Lance. And because, let's face it, I don't think Lance can hide behind Killian that well. And Lance does see a frown cross Tsubasa's face before he just lets out a sigh and starts wandering over. And just...
Oh, hey. When do you guys get here?
Just now. Aster sent us a text and asked if we wanted to teleport, and he does pause for a moment, staring at Lance.
Wait.
before reaching over and flicking him on the nose.
Oh.
That's for lying to us. But I'm glad you guys are all right. All of you. And he does look over at Killian.
Honestly, I wasn't sure we would be.
What do you mean?
There, I'm not sure if it was a person, but there was someone on the ship.
What do you mean? Hold on. Wait, no. What happened on the ship?
You'd have to ask Aster for more details, but it was almost like something was hunting us. I remember the name Marcello.
Marcello? Can I roll history to see if Tsubasa recognizes the name?
Sure.
Watch it be like 20.
Nope, that's an 11.
It's a name that you're pretty sure you heard somewhere else, but in passing.
But you guys are okay, though, yeah? Nobody got hurt?
Not by them. I mean, Aster kind of hit Arthur, but we're still
What?
alive.
Wait, hold on. Why did I... What? No, that does... Do you
Arthur?
Do you know why?
Arthur,
Mm-hmm.
you take 5 points of damage as you're knocked to the ground.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oof.
Tsubasa turns around to see this and it's just... Why is everybody hitting Arthur? Arthur, what?
Arthur.
Yeah.
There are tears in Lex's eyes. This is the first time he's lashed out at you in a very long time. I trusted you. He looks like he's about to say something else. And when he speaks, there's silence. For a very long time. Speaking.
What?
And then he goes silent. Actually silent.
What?
His shoulders are shaking.
Sorry.
He's breathing heavily. This is a way you've never seen any, like you've never seen him before. He looks to be in pain 6 ways from Sunday. Tired, upset, angry, hurting, in pain.
Remember when we had the conversation about him passing out?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is his breaking point.
Jesus Christ, everyone's having a breaking point today, huh? Fair and understandable, considering what they all went through. Sorry.
Lex does not immediately step to pick him up as he passes. The tears do fall, and he looks shocked for a moment, kind of visibly questioning if he was that strong or not. Then he sighs. And just turns away and, like, almost with a blinding speed, rushes over to the nearest wall and punches it with full force, which sends a crack up the wall.
Lex.
You see him take a deep enough breath that it's, even from this distance, audible. And he walks back over, tears still streaming down, picks up Arthur, and goes, I'm going to take him to one of the rooms. And then I'm going on a walk. Don't come after me. And he walks off. Notably, he's moving a lot faster than you've ever seen him move. Even walking.
Tsubasa just watches, looking tired. And just lets out a sigh after a moment before glancing at Helia and then looking back at the others. Well,
Eva, do not. Sorry. I know you're worried. They still have not remembered.
remembered what?
Right. And she steps back. If I start talking and you start hearing nothing, that proves my point. And he opens his mouth, and what happens is not silence. It's... You cannot fathom that this man is talking. This man, question mark, is talking.
Yeah. And that just gets another frown from Tsubasa because...
Oh, so that answers that question. Shit. And this person steps forward and gestures for Helia to come over.
But wait, who are you then?
I am a local doctor. Call me Dr. Saren Gainsborough. Or any variation thereof.
Alright. Do I recognize the name Gainsborough?
All of you that are in attendance vaguely recognize the name. It's historical in nature. It's a lineage name. But you're not sure from who or what it's connected to. You're free to roll history if you deem fit.
You know what? Let's roll that history. No. That's a 6.
And oral history? What's worse?
You keep saying that.
And I rolled pretty well the last time I said that.
We'll roll again. Up.
It's decent.
Hmm. No, not really anything trips your memory. If any of you.
Yeah, no. Tsubasa just gives a mildly confused look and just, alright, Dr. Gainsborough, but, did you need something?
Yes, I wanted to offer my services to your group. Looks like you could need a licensed physician. One that understands what you're going through. And though their expression does not soften per se, their gaze does relent on how severe it is.
I mean, it would be hard to find someone who understands. And he just does a gesture with both his hands of all of this, I guess. He doesn't actually say the all of this, I guess part though.
They look towards Helia, expecting a response.
He's getting a confused look because she's still not sure what he's on about aside from being a doctor.
The time loops.
Is that the reason why we couldn't hear what you were saying?
Yes. He runs his hands down. They run their hands down their face. I'm going to get it right and not let you guys control what I name this character. They, you son of a gun. They run their hands down their face and just. Christ. Yes. It is about the time loops. Bobby and I, as well as the rest of the council, do actually remember. Ken also remembers. Ken! No. Fair enough. Ken remembers.
Wait, where's Aster?
With Bobby.
Oh, okay.
Make an intelligence check, both of you.
Unfortunate for me. Very unfortunate for me.
Helia, you're the only one who puts two and two together. He mentions something about a goddess asking or offering to bring them. He's with Barbie. Huh?
I really missed it by one fucking point.
You did.
Really did. Yeah, just visual processing for a hot second.
Yeah, Tsubasa's just staring off into space at this point, just.
So, with that in mind, they look at their watch, actually rolling up their sleeve and waiting for something. Both of you with your, even Helia with your passive perception, you can see the watch is actually busted. It does not tick. You have no idea what this person is waiting for on a broken watch. 3, 2, 1. You hear something crash in the upper hallway.
Please tell me that's a normal thing.
Yes, that's normal. Not so soon, but normal.
And what is the crashing?
Alexios,
I was hoping not.
if I recall correctly, in one of the runs, he came here for training, ended up trashing half the palace. So I'll let Bobby know. She can put up defenses to actually wear him out. Which might take it, actually. Has he awakened to Leviathan? Fuck, he has. Because he can hear me.
Yeah, we've actually seen Leviathan at one point.
Oh, goody. Everything's happening faster. Delightful. Means we're on a time crunch. Come on now. All of you, follow me.
Where?
Passes you and starts to head up the staircase.
Wait, hold on. Why?
Checkups. Have to make sure you're in tip-top condition before you head off on your training. Well, training, not quite. I have to talk to the headmistress, after all.
Training?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, but
we
Sorry.
are still going to the academy and all that.
if you want to.
I plan to.
Alright. It can be arranged. And just hops up the staircase.
I thought we were already What do you mean arranged to go to the academy? We've already been going.
Yes. I'm aware. Trust me, I'm well aware of that.
Then arrange what?
He stops. They stop. Son of a bitch. God damn it, you guys. They stop and turn to face you. As watching Hillian and Lance kind of follow suit, and off in the distance with your passive perception, Tsubasa, you see Ken just casually, not even stealthing, just leaving.
Just walking out.
Yeah. Just has no reason to stealth. It's his home. And you know that. He's wearing the Dream Guard armor. And he just walks out the door. I say arrange because, well, I think you all, starting to realize just the amount of danger you're in, yes?
Tsubasa doesn't say anything, but he does fuss for a moment with his fingers and isn't looking at Sarah's anymore.
They're in.
Saren, whatever.
N. It's an N.
End. I'm gonna end you.
Good.
No!
No, Minnie would kill us.
Nini's your concern? Please. But no,
He's
they
closer to
continue
us than you guys.
Shush.
They continue walking. And they go, well, here's the deal. Whoever wants to can stay within the... Alexios, stop it! God damn it. As you hear another crash.
Are you sure checkups right now are a good idea?
Yes. Just the instant, yes.
Okay.
Come now. They don't say much as they continue walking. They seem to just be waiting, almost. Which, by the way, in like the next 30 minutes, we're going to be somewhat coming to a soft close.
Okay.
So ask your questions if you want to. Just be aware of the bullshittery that surrounds asking questions.
Shit. I know I had questions. I know I did. But
Brain smooth.
brain smooth at the worst time. Maybe this is why I keep rolling so low on my intelligence rolls. The only
Does
ones
anybody
I've
else
been
have
making! Sorry.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Because otherwise it will like pass on to the next scene. This isn't a rush. You will be interacting with this person quite a bit.
Honestly, right now, Tsubasa is halfway disassociating.
Lance does kind of just like raise his hand.
Without turning around, you just get a yes.
Wait, what? Not important. You said that we're special in how we awaken to our memories. How will we know when we've awoken to them?
You will simply want to stop existing for a bit. It happens every time. It happens to all of us, actually. So our brains can't really comprehend the idea of multiple of the same, kind of similar to how the human mind cannot process nor hold more information than the first 7 digits of pi. And even if that, most can't comprehend the 5th. It's similar to that. Your minds will sort of break and be put back together in the best way you can remember it. But you will have all of that knowledge should you need it. But as of right now, you only remember this. Right here, right now, as it has happened. Nothing more, nothing less.
I'm not looking forward to that.
No one does. Most people have to die to achieve it.
I'd rather not do that, too.
Well, you don't have to, my boy. All of you, rather, need to do the opposite.
Live?
Yes. There is a certain point that is one of the few unsettling variables in all of your lives. There are a few points which will guarantee some memories, and there are others that are up in the air. You're still following, yes? I haven't gone silent on you?
No, you
Mm.
haven't.
Okay. So, how to proceed? They stop for a moment in the hallway and go, one moment, he's going to, and they get interrupted by another crash and another one following it, followed by a scream that is horrific to hear. Does not sound human.
Are we sure one of us shouldn't go check on him?
If you do, you're going to get smacked. Let him take it out on something that isn't a person. Actually, I think you all showed up with Bobby's help. God. Oh, Simon's going to be here. I don't like that man.
But Mr. Simon's nice.
To you, he's
Mm.
going to hit me.
Why would he hit a doctor?
Hold on, I need to time this. Either he's going to show up in the next 2 minutes when I'm least expecting it.
But
Don't ask me how that works. never
Tsubasa
going to
literally has his mouth open to ask. Just slowly
Yeah.
closes it.
Or he's going to show up tomorrow and throw me against the wall, asking why his son is hurt. Great. I need to wear my non-nice attire tomorrow, or just accept my fate. And they put their arm down, kind of accepting something. Well, I'm not going to keep track of that one. That's a variable in any instance. Oh, that means he's going to bring the others. Oh,
You mean the
I do not
Highlands?
like them. I do not like them.
Tsubasa's now looking at Helia with the expression of, I've met all three of them. They're all very nice. I don't know what's going on.
Question for you then. This will help clear things up.
Yeah.
Do they remember? Any of them?
Helia holds her hand up and wobbles it.
They do?
I mean, when I was with the three of them and they were talking about stuff, it came up.
Huh.
Mr. Simon sounded unhinged, and Vivian and Gray doubted him, but she just sort of trails off and shrugs.
Is that
Right. So, here's the thing about that. And, Yuffie, would you like to voice a slightly angry but playful Simon?
You caught me mid grab of a snack. How dare you?
I
I walked over across my room. I was literally deciding Doritos, Lay's, or Cheetos, and then it's like, Yuffie, huh? What the fuck? Okay. What kind of Simon?
Slightly angry, genuinely, but mostly playful. As if seeing an old friend you'd forgot.
How you doing, Doc?
Oh, great.
Good to
Okay,
hear.
fine.
Where's my boy?
Opens their mouth, and then there's a crash down the hallway. You can follow the crashing.
Lead the way.
No?
Not a question. Lead the way.
But Mr. Simon?
Mm-hmm.
He said that he was going to do checkups for us.
Mm-hmm.
The man needs
Good.
to be a doctor. Then a pause, looks at Saren for a second, and then goes, they need to be a doctor right now.
Thank you, darling.
To who?
To us?
Mm. Alright.
I am, most of the time, the doctor, Simon.
I'd accept that. I'm gonna go get them boys before they rip each other a new one.
Oh no, he already knocked out the prince.
He's one less body to carry.
I'll see you soon, Simon.
He's weird.
Yeah. A little louder than Helia. You're fucking weird.
I heard that too, and I can hit you.
Just a scoff, but you do see the look on their face that's been severe and cold and distant this entire time kind of break. That man will give me gray hairs before I'm 50.
Are yours artificial then?
Bleached.
Artificial.
Yes. And keep talking.
Okay.
Oh, Lance, yes?
Yeah.
I should note, you're always the first who remembers everything, so please try not to actively die this time around, yes?
I don't plan on it.
Were you not listening earlier?
I might want to when I remember it, but that doesn't mean I will.
You weren't here, you weren't paying attention, rather. Alright. You, like I told the others while they were here, to put it simply, it's not the only way to remember. There are artificial ways of regaining your memories. Will hurt like a bitch. I'm not going to say it won't. And then there is also the fastest way, which is to escape time. aka dying and coming back.
But you said that doesn't work for us. We need to do the opposite.
The best way for you to learn what happened is to live. Yes. Do not suggest dying.
Please don't.
As someone who did it, and Bobby laughed at me for the way I did it, it's not great. Which, by the way, she does know what you're saying. So don't act as if you need to update her. She is listening. Not always, but she's around.
Yeah. Lance does see Tsubasa glance back at him with just the most exhausted expression. Because Lance was starting to go towards the line of thought of shortcut, yeah?
No.
Good.
He knows better. Have a little faith.
Give me
Killian
reason to have
frowns.
faith.
Killian frowns and looks at you, Lance. Really, don't. It's not worth it.
Especially since Dr. Gainsborough says you have to come back, too.
And I don't mean the sense of, oh, you just go under for like a minute. You have to die.
Sounds about as unfun as you can imagine.
It is. Because it means you have to trust someone implicitly to bring you back, or you stay dead. For me, it was Barbie. For the twins, it was me. And they frowned. They kind of just frown, pause, and stare over towards the now completely silent corridor. I don't think anyone was there for your friend. They are your friend, yes?
Wax? Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
Or at
Alright.
least. Hmm. Never mind.
I check up on them when you got a moment and when they're not, actively pissed the fuck off. Because I don't think in any. I don't believe in any previous ones he has ever lashed out at Arthur. They've always been thick as thieves, those two. Granted, there's a bet going, but that's here nor there. And keeps walking.
Tsubasa's following. But now he's just thinking about everything that's happened at the castle.
But they stop at a particularly large set of double doors and just throws it open with not an extreme amount of force, but they do make sure it's moved out of the way for you guys. And before they lead you inside, they go, "Now, if any of you have any issues with doctors, syringes, needles, or anything of the sort, please tell me up front before you step in, or this is going to be a very uncomfortable set of hours." And that's where we're end.